What's the difference between portfolio-based margin and strategy-based margin? Well, strategy-based margin, I'm going to give you an example of it in just a second. Is how we've been doing it for decades. So you tell me you want to short the stock and short a put. And so then I look at that and I say, okay, well, the short put isn't going to blow you up because if you get exercised, you're going to use the stock to make delivery. So I'm not going to have a margin requirement for that short put because you're covered. I'm going to go over that in length in just a little bit because that was the other question. The margin requirement there is based on the strategy. Portfolio-based margin is based on your entire portfolio. The idea here is that the portfolio as a whole would be determining your requirements, right? And it's the, it looks like I got a typo there, but it's the entire portfolio rather than the individual positions and strategies. If this ever shows up, I think very, very low probability. But if it does show up, what you're going to be asked about is the minimum equity being $100,000. And maintenance calls are not due promptly. We're going to give you some more time to come up with meeting whatever deficiency there is in the account. Again, I think it's very low probability. I think it's even low probability on 4, 9, or 10. This person didn't tell me what exam they're taking. I think it's more of a test prep vendor thing than it is an actual test question. Now, here's an example of a strategy-based margin requirement. Again, if you're taking a 7, who cares? This would only be if you're taking a 4 or a 9 that this would ever come into play. So you say, hey, Dean, I want to obligate myself to buy 100 shares of Apple at any time between now and December at 2:30, and I'm going to collect that 9 points. I say, okay, well, that is a uncovered naked option. And Apple is at 233. So what I'm going to ask you to come up with is 20% of the market value. Right now, Apple's at 23.3. So 20% of that would be whatever that is. Let me just see here. Looks like I messed up on the margin requirement there, but I'm going to take Apple's market value, 2,300, right? 100 times 233 equals 23.3 times 20%. That's $4,660. I'm going to let you slide for the amount that it's out of the money because it's not likely somebody's going to stick Apple to you at 230 when Apple's 233. So I'm going to take the out of the money amount. That's minus 300. And then I'm going to let you make you leave the premium in there, which is 900. So you're going to have whatever that number is, right? Now, the second question they sent me, and that was strategy-based margin, right? I'm asking you for 20% of the market value, less the out of the money amount, plus the current premium. That's the margin requirement for a naked uncovered option. Minimum maintenance on that is going to be 10% of the market value and the current premium. Now, the question that she asked me about is, well, Dean, what if it's covered? This drives me nuts. We're not asking about this as a strategy. When we say, is it covered, we're asking about that short put. Please note that's the same contract. Here you're obliged, same contract, to buy 100 shares of Apple at any time between now and December at 2:30. And you're collecting 9, but now you have that short stock position. So I am not going to make you come up with that 20% madness. The other way you could come up, cover that short put without being short the stock would be to have cash equal to the aggregate exercise price, right? I had a client who wanted to write 10 240 puts. I said, well, you're obligating yourself, Mark, to buy 1,000 shares at 240. That's 240 grand. And I'm not going to ask you for the 20% of the market value, less the out of the money amount, minus the current premium, because, Mark, you actually have 240 grand in cash in the account. You have cash equal to the aggregate exercise price. So again, this was what she asked, what is the covered put? What this means is you don't have to do it. Now, the reason this drives me nuts is because this still has unlimited risk potential, right? So, that's the problem. I was a consultant very early in E-Trade's history, and I had to, tell the programmer guys that they were kind of messing up margin requirements. They would tell people, hey, well, you don't have to come with the 20% if you short the stock. I go, and they said, we get a lot of pushback. I go, yeah, because you're asking somebody to go from limited risk, short put, to unlimited risk, short the stock and short the put. Short the put, you're a bull. Short the stock, short the put. You're bear, so no wonder they're mad. It means you don't know what you're talking about. Right. So I hope that was